What's up, class? What's up, Liberty U? My name is Damien Scott. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. West Philly is where I reside. And I just want to talk to you briefly about a life-changing event that happened to me a few years ago. I was faced with the decision to leave my old church, where I served as an associate minister at. Everything seemed to be running smoothly with the church. There were promises in place for me. I thought that church would be the first church that I would potentially serve as a pastor at. But God had another thing in store for me. So I was faced with the decision to leave this church, and God had led me to the church where I currently serve at now. Much bigger church, many more ministers and preachers. So the first thing that went through my mind was, God, how are you going to use me in this place that already has what's seeming to be a full load of guys who are just like me? How could I even shine in this situation? I got so comfortable in my past situation that I could not see what God was doing in my life. And I let fear kind of settle in. And I know God does not give us the spirit of fear. I know this. So I was struggling within self, struggling with God, where God was leading me at. But eventually I came to myself. I prayed, I fasted, even before I officially made the move. I prayed and fasted to make sure I was hearing God correctly, and nothing changed. It was still what God had said in the beginning. He had continued to say to me throughout my fasting period and while I was praying. But the thing I learned from trusting God and allowing Him to lead me to that new path, that new place, was that God would word, that God is His ways are not our ways, and His thoughts are not our thoughts. So what God has planned for us is bigger and greater than what the little things or what we can see at that very moment in time. So after being there for a period of maybe 6 months, I didn't do anything. I didn't preach. I didn't do any teaching. So I'm like, God, I think there must be a mistake here. You know, God, should I go back to my old church? What should I do? But even still, God had continued to comfort me. And one of the main lessons that I've learned is that because God has called me and because I'm following after Him, that He would make sure that everything will work out. He will work it all out for my good. And the thing that I learned too is that He says in His Word that your gifts will make room for you. So because my gifts will make room for me, I could see that. I could see that being manifested by the various things that I did within that church that allowed other people and allowed the church to recognize my gifts. And before I knew it, I was teaching and preaching regularly, outside of the church, inside of the church, but I had the opportunities that I was once fearful that I would not get. And even as a result of me following after God, I was called back to my old church several times to even preach there. So doors were open, and we have to understand that sometimes God will close one door, but He would open another one. And what God says in His Word in Revelations, He said, I will close a door that no man can open, and I will open a door that no man can close. So that is the lesson that I've learned from that life-changing event. I learned to trust in God, lean not on my own understanding, in all our ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Amen.